and welcome to 1980s Runner. I'm Don Bickerdike, and if you're anything like me, you remember a time when neon was king. Short shorts were, well, to say the least, short, and the sound of a Walkman was a soundtrack to every run. Let me just tell you a little bit about the equipment I wear. It's not the same as what I used to wear in the 1980s. It's a lot different. Back in the 1980s, we'd wear muscle shirts or no shirt at all and very short shorts and those socks that would pretty much be under your ankle. You almost couldn't see them. And we pretty much got UV sun rays over most of our bodies. I can't do that anymore. So obviously I've got something on my head. I'll put a sun hat on. I have a chest strap that I use. I will use a face mask, which is UV protective. And like I said, I do have a hat with a drape that I'll use. And this is actually sun protective as well. I use gloves and then an extra layer on top, so that I can be more protected. The layers that I use are sun protective layers to 98, 99% of UV rays will get blocked. So I wear a little extra layer underneath just to try to get it all. I have sun protective pants that I wear. And yes, I wear some 1980s like tights underneath, but you're not going to see them. And that helps me with the extra protection as well. So let me know what you wear. I have to be sun protective because I was out in the sun a lot in the 1980s. A lot of us would try to get an even tan. We didn't want to go around and have these farmer's tans from the shirts and that kind of thing. And a lot of the ladies would use those foil reflectors and try to get an even tan. That way, we all were out there in the 1980s getting a lot of sun exposure. Can't do that anymore. But that's a quick rundown of the equipment that I use, and maybe I'll give some more reviews on those in the future. Let's go run. Back then, I was all about the speed, the competition, pushing my limits. I lived and breathed running, chasing personal best and the thrill of the race. Life, as it often does, had other plans. Injuries, changing priorities, the simple passage of time. The intense competitive fire eventually cooled down a little bit, but the love for running, that never went away. My runs look a little bit different. You can probably tell. The stopwatch is less of a dictator, and the scenery gets a lot more appreciation. It's about the joy of movement, the feeling of the wind while I run, and the connection to the world around me. You wouldn't think there'd be a lot of colors out in the desert, but you never know what you'll find. gorgeous out here. Part of the fun of looking back is the sheer style of it all. The short shorts that defied gravity, the headbands that soaked up approximately zero sweat, the high-tech, at the time, shoes that weighed more than they do today. We were serious about our running, even if our fashion choices were, at best, questionable. Today's run isn't about pace or mileage goals. It's about feeling good, clearing my head, and remembering why I fell in love with this sport in the first place. It's about the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other. So what can you expect from the 1980s Runners Group? We'll be taking trips down memory lane, revisiting the iconic moments and the quirky trends of the 1980s running. We'll also be exploring the joy of running for fun today, sharing tips, stories, and maybe even some retro reviews. Whether you were pounding the pavement in leg warmers back in the day or you're just lacing up your first pair of shoes, there's a place for you here. So we're improvising just like we did in the 1980s. Just make sure you bring a lot of water. This is an awesome view. Around every turn, every corner, you get a new view. I've learned to appreciate it a lot more. Some trails are a little more sketchy than others. But in Saguaro National Park, whether you go to the east side or the west side, you can always find a trail that matches the type of terrain that you'd like to walk, hike, jog, or run on. Nice barrel cactus. Just watch your footing wherever you go. The water bottles fit real nicely in my pouch. Back in the 80s, we just gulp a few mouthfuls of water down from a fountain, go on a very long run, and then drink a few more gulps when we came back. I can't do that anymore. I have to stay hydrated. I have to stop in increments, drink water, and while I do that, I enjoy the scenery. The tops of the cactus are starting to bloom. Every territory has its own song for birds. It's how they know who belongs to the territory and who doesn't. Do you see how the trail goes around this cactus? That reminds me, back in high school, on our home course, we'd run around the tennis courts and they had these big light posts, these little big light poles that would light up the tennis court. The trail would pretty much go straight towards them and then go around all of a sudden. Did that 3 or 4 times. In one race, a competitor, a friend of mine, a good friend, but a very fierce competitor, who I hadn't beaten yet, was running right on my tail. And he was giving me those flat tires. Do you know what those are? That's where you try to run behind someone and you hit their shoe with your shoe and try to make it buckle under your heel or come off. Well, that's what he was doing. I had tried to get out ahead of him, thinking maybe I could hold him off. And maybe this was payback. But there he was, right on my heels, literally. I had to think fast. So I picked up the pace, I surged real fast, headed right toward the next pole, and just at the last second, moved out of the way, went around it. Guess what? Yep, Daryl hit the pole. Now, I didn't look back. I kept running. But that was the first race that I had beaten him in. At least he didn't run into a cactus. There's some nice pockets of sand up here. Mixed in with the rocks, of course. It's okay to take it slow. We're not back in the 1980s competing anymore. Just go your own pace. Back in the day, I ran a 424 mile. I ran a 154 800. I ran pretty fast 10Ks, right around 30 minutes. At least for times in high school, that was pretty fast. Just go your own pace. Enjoy it. No one's going to be breaking any world records here. Gotta love the uphills. Just take it easy, take a lot of short steps. Speaking of sunglasses, whether or not you wear sunglasses at night, you should wear them during the day. Try to get UVA and UVB protection. These berries make a great jam, but you can't pick them when you're in a national park. Sometimes it takes a while to find your peace again. Out in nature, running, jogging, walking and hiking. But if you look, you'll find it. Time after time. Looks like they've been through the desert, but I'm sure those horses have a name. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next run down memory lane. And I want to hear from you. What are your favorite running memories from the 1980s? What was your go-to running gear? Let me know in the comments below.